with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. What's happening in the world this week? I have no idea. I haven't watched any fucking news, I don't think. Not that I can remember. I know the Chinese and the Indians are fighting on the border there, which is pretty much the same as going to a nightclub in Melbourne CBD. A lot of Chinese-Indian tensions. And that border dispute India and China are having, they signed a treaty in like 96 saying they're not allowed to have any deadly weapons. So in case they get into fighting, it doesn't escalate. So there's no guns on that border. So what they've done, they've wrapped baseball bats and I assume cricket bats with barbed wire and just gone after each other. And so far, India is losing that match. They're losing that match at the moment because weight of numbers. I think there's like 50 Indians on that border and 300 Chinese. So it's like 6-1. Indians aren't naturally the best fighters. I'm not saying there's no good Indian fighters. I'm just saying they're not naturally good fighters. And China are going to win that by sheer weight of numbers on that border. And that's what makes China scary, sheer weight of numbers and organization. Is that my first China warning for the week? I feel like I've been pretty lax on China this week. I read an article saying the Chinese government has warned their citizens not to come to Australia because of racial attacks. So they're just fermenting hate there just to come and take us. Because there probably are some racial attacks, but no more than normal. This is how I get my news now, because I don't have enough time to fucking sit there and figure out what's going on. I haven't got the time to look into things. So what I do is I have a conspiracy theory guy. He's not even a conspiracy theory guy. He's a researcher. He's my research assistant, a very paranoid fellow. So if I start thinking about something, oh, what if this is going to happen? I start a conversation with him. I plant some paranoia in his head. He goes researches it, sends me back like 3 or 4 articles. I skim over the headings and then come to my own conclusion. That's how I do the news now. And then if I need to verify anything, what I do is I forward those 3 or 4 articles to a friend who hates me, hates everything about me and just wants to disagree with everything I say. I forward it to them saying, look into this, man, it's sketchy. And usually what comes back is, Boyle, you're a fucking idiot. Why would they want to do blah, blah, blah? Lately I've been forwarding those articles to my spiteful friend and they've been coming back, yeah, man, it's not looking good. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here for Fucked Up Fridays. The one and only segment I've ever created that has lasted longer than 2 weeks. And thank you to everyone who sends me in Fucked Up Friday stories. It's fucking much appreciated. I love hearing the stories and I love reading them out. They're fun for me and it makes my life for one day a little bit easier. So this Fucked Up Friday story, I got sent this a couple of days ago and I've been excited to read it out ever since. It's probably one of the wildest stories I've ever fucking heard. It's an instant Hall of Famer. I'm definitely not saying his name. He needs to stay fucking anonymous as possible here. But it's an American listener. You know who you are. Thank you for sending in the story. And let's get into it. Here's the Fucked Up Friday story this week. So it starts, I got a good Fucked Up Friday story for you. This literally finished a few days ago. Over the course of about 2 weeks, I have brought uber shame to my family. This begun the 4th of June. So I missed all your episodes since then, but I'm catching up. I'm happy that through all this you were thinking, fuck, I'm missing episodes of I'm Quitting Alcohol with comedian David Boyle. Hey, maybe if you didn't skip those episodes, none of this shit would have went down. So he says, wait, little background. I'm a hardcore alcoholic and I'm 29. So this banger right here decided it would be a good idea to take Xanax or muscle relaxers or both. Whatever, doesn't fucking matter. Anyways, I'm vibing out to some tunes. Even just that sentence scares me a little bit. Anyone who says a sentence like that, I know is trouble. I was vibing out to some tunes. That sounds like something my friend Horn would say. I was just vibing to some tunes. Then an hour later, we're filming him put an ecstasy pill in his arsehole with his index finger, and the index finger all the way in. It was kind of gay, but it was also kind of cool. So anyways, I'm vibing out to some tunes, pretty loud I might add, in a home I just moved into on May the 1st. So how long you been in there? May, June. So about a month. I wasn't aware of how much of a cunt the neighbour was, so I'm jamming out and I get a knock on the door. It's that cunt, saying I was too loud or whatever. I keep the music playing, and then my dick housemate makes a rude comment, so I start being a dick right back to him. We have an argument, I'm drunk and I start throwing shit around. Somehow this spirals into me getting thrown into the loony bin. What the fuck? So I'm released the next day and I'm fucking boiling. And when this guy boils, he drinks. That sounds like it could be my catchphrase. When this guy boils, he drinks. So I'm drinking everything in the house, making a bunch of noise that I'm moving out. At some point, the psychosis takes over. Holy balls, mate. Fucking went on a 2-week bender that included me ending up in hospital 3 times. I'm a runner. When I go literally psychotic, I run from my family. Jumped out of my mother's moving vehicle because I thought she was putting me back in the loony bin. I go to one hospital and got psycho and run out the back door in only my gown and hospital socks. Fuck knows where, but I just kept running looking for alcohol. Boyle. I shamed my family. I was knocking on my parents' neighbors' doors asking if they had alcohol. I must have knocked on like 8 or 9 doors. Somewhere along this process, I met a dude who I later learned was a tranny or something. That's not very politically correct. I think you mean you met a beautiful lady. So you met a tranny, but that didn't stop me. I did a line of meth, never done it before, and took the tranny to my mother's home. Hey mum, what's happening? Yeah, just escaped from hospital. Yeah, it's all good. Meet my new girlfriend, Adam. Nah, we don't need any lunch. We're on meth. We're not hungry at all. Oh God, Boyle, the shit I got from her. But it doesn't stop here. Since I'm manic, I go with this fucking tranny in my vehicle to hang out. I totally got a blowy. Hey, it's 2020. You just had a beautiful, consensual experience with a wonderful lady. So at some point I panic again and threaten the tranny to take me home. I know when that some point was. I know exactly when that some point was. It was the millisecond you blew and you realized what you had done. I don't know how, but we ended up at his friend's drinking whiskey. Her friends. This part is blurry, but I somehow end up back at my mother's. Mind you, I've been drinking probably every hour, whatever I can get my hands on. Wine, tequila, vodka. And did I mention I broke into a young girl's house like at midnight to take a bottle of vodka? You hadn't mentioned that, but it's a good part of the story. I just couldn't stop, Boyle. I like how you say Boyle through this whole story too. I just couldn't. I would ruin my family. They even took my identification card and wallet. So I bail in slippers to walk fuck knows where, then I lost them. I walk to my mate's place and I'm bugging him out, so I leave. I also drank my sister's $200 Remy Martin bottle, so I'm not welcome there. Now this is where it gets really fucked up. This is where it gets really fucked up. This is the point when I read it the first time I got really excited. I decide to find my older brother's place. It's far south of the city in the ghetto, so I'm looking for his home when I decide to break into someone's home looking for alcohol. Well, I didn't find it, but the large black man found me and beat the living daylights out of me, broke my jaw, and I black out. Some nice lady found me and somehow got hold of my dad, who took me to hospital where my bender almost ended. Almost. I was sucking on the alcohol pads in there. So I'm released from hospital and I go over to my mum's with jacked up feet. Boyle. I went straight back to that young girl's house. I was going to break in, but saw she had installed a security camera. So I said, no go. I've already been to the loony bin, tied to a gurney, been to hospital at this point 3 times. I proceed to my mum's. She reluctantly lets me in. I immediately go looking for more fucking alcohol. Since I didn't find any, I drank half a bottle of NyQuil and mini Listerine. So she calls the cops. 2 cops show up. They tell me to either calm down or go with them. I finally gave up. My bender was over. I shamed my family. I drove hammered, did all sorts of mentally ill shit. But it's finally over. The beating I got stopped me. and only because I saw my face the next day and knew I literally almost died from this ass whooping I got. There's a lot more that happened, but I'm barely regaining the memories. Maybe I'll write a part 2. And then the cherry on the fucking cake is he sends me photos of his face as proof, and he got fucked up. I wish I could fucking post these photos, but I definitely can't, but fuck me. His chin and cheekbone area is thicker than the width of his head at the top. So the top of his head is skinnier than his chin area. It looks like he's a fucking cartoon. And then under his neck, it's just fucking purple. It looks like what happened to me, if I do some investigation, is he's got strangled, and the dude that kicked his ass has got him on the ground, and he's got one hand on his neck while he's just fucking wailing into his face. Oh, it's not a good fucking scene. And then he sent me a photo of what he looked like on June 3, the day the bender started. And they look like 2 different human beings. Broken fucking jaw and fuck, I don't know what's happened to his neck and underneath his chin, but it's just fucking purple. And so he ends it with, oh yeah, I have surgery to fix my face on Friday and I'm done with drinking. And you are fucking done with drinking. Once you get to that level, it's either quit or die. That's your 2 choices. Like, you've escalated your fuck-ups to a point where the next one you're probably going to die. Because your fuck-ups don't get smaller. Like, your next fuck-up isn't going to be, oh, I drank a little bit too much, I ate 3 Whoppers, and I passed out on the couch watching porn at my mum's house. It's not going to be something as easy to handle as that, because subconsciously, when you're in that fucking crazy booze head of yours, you just keep trying to top yourself. And your top now is death. So whatever you do from now, drinking is fucking out of your life. What you should do is spend the next fucking 10 years, 15, 20 years making your mum and your family proud. That's what I would do. Well, not me personally, but that's what the good person in me would pretend to do. But yeah, man, that's a fucking wild fucking story. And thank you for sending it in. Appreciate it. I'm going to say to the other listeners, maybe don't try and top that one. And if you do, make sure to send it in to Boyle Comedy on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I want to hear about it. Alright, that's it. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you the fuck later.